let's talk series, shall we? This is the 2026 start of year update that I just wanted to let you guys know where we are at this current moment, because it's a thing, isn't it? I think if you've been around this channel for a while, you will know that finishing series is one of the biggest challenges that I have. What do I mean by that? Well, I have been known to start series and then be obsessed with them, and then either stop at the final book or forget to keep up to date with them, or just leave them for 6-7 months, and then when I want to get back into them, feel like I've forgotten everything, I want to start over again. So if any of you have seen the 2026 reading goals video, let me just reiterate a little bit about what my plans are going to be for series for this year. Now, my plans are to use series books for the yearly readathon prompts. If I am not able to fulfill one of the yearly prompts with a series book, then I'm gonna swap it out for one of the monthly readathon books prompts, which does mean that I could potentially, or should be, reading 3 books towards series every single month. So I think that is a good way to get this whole series thing rolling, to keep it rolling. The prompts that I'm talking about are the prompts for the Buzzwordathon, both the title prompts and the book cover prompts, and then the Year of Goober. Now, the Year of Goober makes it a lot easier because I can pick between 2 prompts, so that makes it a little easier to pick one. I think the prompts that are gonna get swapped out most are probably going to be the Buzzwordathon. I don't know. Possibly, maybe. And obviously, I have not forgotten about Romanceopoly. For that, we need to read 20 books, or books that fulfill 20 prompts. Now, for this, I'm also keeping series that I'm in the middle of top of mind. But I feel like Romanceopoly is going to be a little bit more like feeling out as I go along. I don't really feel like, because I am trying to take semesters on this, so I do think that that means I need to read 5 books over the course of 3 months for this challenge, or for this readathon that I'm doing, and that just feels much more doable, and it doesn't feel like there's a big time limit on it, so it just feels like I can take it a little bit more gradually, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's get you guys up to date on where we currently are in series. I have gotten to the point where I have made a Notion tracker for all of the series that I want to read. Well, not all of them. I've started adding, but they're not all in there. And to keep track of the books that I'm reading, or the series that I'm reading, and how far into it I am. If you guys want this Notion tracker, let me know. I can find a way and see if I can share it in some way. Just let me know. But currently, I'm in the middle of still 15 series. Now, I have mentioned in my 2026 goals that I would like to get this down to 10 series by the end of the year. I do see this as a possibility, because a lot of this series, I have like 1 to 2 books left on them. So I should be able to do that. Now, not forgetting about the fact that some of these series are still ongoing and will have new books coming out this year. So the first series that I'm still in the middle of is the Belvoir's Library series. I have yet to finish Ladies in Hating. I was supposed to finish this in December. It is currently the 10th of January. I filmed this a little bit earlier. If you've seen my previous video that has come out about my January TBR, you might know that my year started off a little bit chaotic and in need of some self-care. So I still need to finish it. Even though I was very much enjoying it. So I don't think it's going to be a very big challenge to go back to it, if that makes any sense. So still very much wanting to finish this series and still very much enjoying my time there. It's just taking a little bit longer than I thought. The next series is the Crescent City series. We just have the final book to go. They're also very big books, but they read very quickly. So I just have the final one left. I think this is just going to be one. If it fits a prompt for any readathon, I will pick this. Don't you worry. Also, the audiobooks, the graphic audios for these have been really good. So again, not feeling bad about having to continue the series in the slightest. The next one is The Locked Tomb. Again, a series where I only have one book left, which is Nona the Ninth. It's still very vague to me if there's supposed to be a fourth one. That never got published. So I do hope that the story is finished at the end of this. But I'm guessing I'm going to have to wait to find out. This is also a series that I'm going to be finishing on audio because I have been listening to the previous two on audio. So I'm just going to be continuing with that. It's been a very interesting one with this series, which is by Tamsin Muir, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't mention. The first book really ended on something happening that I don't think I've ever had happen to me in my reading history. And then the second book was very confusing until about 70% in, which I ended up actually Googling when does it start making sense. And it seems that that was the experience of most people, and people were just saying, just keep going, which I did, and I was very surprised and very happily surprised by the end of that. The next one isn't really a series, it's more of a universe that I want to finish, which is the Grishaverse by Leigh Bardugo. I have yet to finish Crooked Kingdom, which is also a book that I was reading in December. I will be restarting that one just because I didn't get very far. We still need to finish Crooked Kingdom, and then we need to finish the King of Scars duology, and then that will be finished. So those are the only 3 books left in there, and I'm very, very curious about the King of Scars duology because lots of people are very much a fan of Nikolai. So now the other one, which I have mentioned before, I think, and which you will have seen around this channel before, and quite a lot of it, is the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. I think in January we are rounding out the original series, and then Rick Riordan decided to add a few more books much more recently. So I need to message Paula and figure out what we're doing with that, because I kind of want to continue and see what the hell is going on. And yes, I very much have been enjoying it. We are also watching the Percy Jackson series over on Disney+. I, sadly, because of work, wasn't able to make the first couple, but I have been watching it on my own time, and it's really nice. It's been really nice. I think the casting for it has been done perfectly. These kids are growing up, man. And it's going to get very, very interesting to see if they want to finish all of the books. They're not going to be kids by the time we get to this book, which is Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian we're currently on. He's not going to look like a kid anymore. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. The next series that I still very much want to continue is the Red Queen series, which I am halfway through. I have by Victoria Aveyard. I have 2 books left to finish in that one. If you may or may not have seen, I did a little bit of a comparison between Red Queen and the Powerless series, and the fact that one of the series is missing on this list will tell you where I landed. Then we have Villains of Lore, which is the Bond of Hercules, is the book that I still need to listen to. So I'm halfway through there. I don't know if Jasmine Moss is going to continue the series, if there's going to be more, but I'm either going to be finished or up to date is my plan. Then we have Better Than the Movies. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be one of those books that I will put into a readathon if it's a prompt. I did enjoy the first book in this, but it does feel like a fluffy romance kind of filler book for me. So if that is needed for a readathon that I'm doing, I will definitely be picking this one. But this might be one of those series where when I get to like the first half of the year, I just decide to DNF it just because I don't feel very motivated to get back into it. The next book, or the next series that I'm into, is Fan Alchemy. So this is the Quicksilver Brimstone duology that we currently have. I'm pretty sure that she is planning on continuing this, which is obviously Callie Hart. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to mention the authors. She is, I think, planning on continuing this series. I am currently reading Brimstone, so I'm hoping that by the end of January, I'm at least up to date on this one. Then the next one is the Windy City series. Again, this is one of those series that it's like a fluffy romance, but I feel like because it is a adult series, new adult series, I'm a little bit more motivated to get to this. I did enjoy the first 2 books that I've read in this series. I think there's about 3 more that I need to get to, but for some reason they haven't been on Storytel. They were on there, and now they're gone. So that means that it's a little more difficult to get to them. So I'm hoping they get back on there, because the minute that they do, I will be adding them, and I will probably put them on a TBR somewhere. The next series is the Into Darkness series by Nevessa Allen. I have read or listened to Lights Out, and that was a journey. It was kind of my first foray into dark romance, so that was interesting. Again, the same thing. They were on Storytel and then they were gone. So very much still want to continue this series. I just need to figure out where to get them. The next series is the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which when I was putting this into Notion, I had no idea there were already 7 books in this series. Yes, I am counting novellas, because there's a novella in there of like 300 pages, 400 pages. That's not really a novella in my eyes, but you know. So I'm still very much into finishing or continuing that series. I know that there's another book coming out this year, so I think it's very, very, very ambitious to think that I will be able to get up to date with this series by the end of the year, because I still need to get to 5 books, and a 6th one is coming. The thing that might get me through and might make it like a must read for me is that I think we switch main characters through this series. I might be wrong, but that is the way that I remember it for some reason, which, I mean, if I feel like that's something that people don't really do, so that's very intriguing to me. I'm very curious to see what Carissa Broadbent is going to do with that. We have the Faithful and the Fallen series. Yes, this is still on there. I very much want to continue my John Gwynne journey. Now, it is very obvious. I started this book or this series last year, and it was an on and off again thing. And I figured out how to read this, which is immersive reading, this series, when I was at book 3. And then I just got stuck, because this is very dense fantasy, Game of Thrones-esque fantasy, which with a lot of characters, a lot of settings, a lot of locations, a lot of political intrigue and like moving parts, lots of POVs. So that means that you really have to pay attention when you're reading these books. And for some reason, that just wasn't happening for me for the last part of the year. So I want to get to it so bad, but I just feel like I haven't had the brain space for it. So I'm keeping it on the list. The next series is The Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini, which is the Aragon series. Dragons. There's dragons. Sophia is very, very, very sassy. I do very much enjoy her. And then obviously we have the fantasy element of the dragons, the elves. I only read the first book in this series, so I do still have 4 more to go. Again, this was a series that was supposed to be finished with 4 books, and then Christopher Paolini decided to add another one onto it. So I don't know if he's planning on continuing it more, but as it stands, I still have 4 books to go in this series. I did mention it, I think in my 2026 goals, I don't really know, that this might be one of those series that I might DNF. I know I'm saying like it's got dragons and it's got all of the things, but I think one of the things that got me, or that made me doubt it, was the pacing in the first book. I just felt like it only really started towards the end of the first book when everything just kind of came to a head. And I think the next book in this series, which is Eldest, is very much going to decide whether or not I want to continue this series. Because if I compare it to a book like the Faithful and the Fallen series, for instance, there is a lot happening. The pace isn't as fast, but the chapters are shorter. We switch POVs a lot, which means that you do stay interested a lot more, in my opinion, because you're seeing things from different perspectives and obviously different locations and needing to figure out what is happening where. So that keeps your mind preoccupied, even though in like a couple hundred pages, maybe not a lot happens. But it feels like the story moves forward still. And I feel like in Aragon, there were a lot of instances where that wasn't happening. I also did not know that he wrote these novels when he was like a teenager. So keeping that in mind, it does explain a lot. But yeah, I'm on the fence with this one. And then the final one that I'm in the middle of is the All Souls series, which again started as a trilogy. And then Deborah Harkness decided to add on more books. So we now don't have a trilogy. We have 5 books in this series. I have finished the first one. I have read the second one in previous years, but I do really need to get back into it. I do feel like this book right now, because I'm also doing the Anti-Brain Rot Challenge, which is telling you to like do personal curriculums and be more mindful of what you consume and what you read. I feel like this might be the book series that gets me to build an entire personal curriculum into like researching every single one of those characters that is getting mentioned, because it is a series about time travel and we do go back to Old England and we do meet people like Christopher Marlowe, and there's mentions of Shakespeare and there's mentions of like Queen Elizabeth and all of the things. And it has previously made me very curious to figure out more about these people. So yeah, I think this might be a book, if when I get back to the second one, that might get me to spiral and just set up an entire curriculum just based on this book. So just in those series alone, there's over 30 books that need to get read. Now, I am very, very aware that some of these series might get DNF'd. But, you know, this, if you keep in mind that I finished about 60 books last year, that would mean that over half of my reads would have to be series this year to just even finish the ones that I have going on. Not to mention the fact that we are also starting a new series this year, which is Throne of Glass, which have 8 books in them. So it's going to be an ongoing thing. If you're wondering about series that I want to get to in the next year, there are quite a few. One of the big ones that I feel like you'll want to get into in the new year is not, again, a series, it's more of a universe, which is the Shadowhunter universe by Cassandra Clare. Now, I know this starts with the Mortal Instruments series, and a lot of people have said that that is the least good of all the series that she's written in that universe. And you kind of just have to get through it to get the basis of it. I do still want to get to it. Another series that I really want to get into that is kind of taking over the world by storm is the Game Changer series by Rachel Reed. We now have Heated Rivalry as a series, and it feels like everyone and their mother is watching this and loving every single second of it. And I don't know what to do. I don't know if I want to watch this series and then read the books, or should I read the books and then watch the series? So if you know, please tell me. I know that there's going to be a season 2, so that is good. But I really want to know. I really want to know, if you have read the books, what would you recommend? Would you recommend reading it first and then watching the series, or are you just like, just get into it? It doesn't really matter. Just jump in and have fun. That is one of the ones that is really also top of mind. I would also like to read the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. It's been a series that I got really into last year, and they're based on books. So, you know, any form that I can get a Jamie into. Now, obviously, there's more series by TJ Klune that I want to get into, which is the Wolf Song series. I'm very, very curious to get into that. Then there is the Skyland series by Kennedy Ryan, which I know that Donna from Donna Marie Reads absolutely says wrecked her, but she loves it. So that is one of the ones that I really want to get into myself. So those are just a few of the series, which I think if I would add up, especially with like the Shadowhunter verse in there, I think that's probably like another 30 books. I don't know. So how are you guys gonna know how I'm doing on this? I am planning on putting out a video, a sit-down video every single month, and updating you on where we're at with the stats. I'll be updating you in the vlog about what I thought about the book and how it was overall, if I'm going to be continuing the series that it was in or not. And then just, you know, updating the statistics of where we're at. I think I already shot myself in the foot, because I think with the January TBR, it already means that I've started 2 new series. So yeah, I also need to finish some. So it's just going to be an ongoing challenge. I mean, this is last year's challenge that is just going to be continuing on. I think this is going to be a lifelong thing, but at least on this channel, you can expect a video for this once a month. So I'm hoping that that is going to be okay with you guys. I don't think the videos of that are going to be long, but I will be keeping you guys up to date, so keep an eye out for them. And that's going to be it for me for today. If there are any series that you think I should check out, because I'm still going to be doing that, please let me know in the comments down below. If you are also in the middle of a whole bunch of series, also let me know so that I don't feel so alone in this. I do feel like this is a problem a lot of us readers have, though. Let me know what your goals are. What series are top of mind for you? What series do you want to get to? What series are you in the middle of? And what series are you kind of dragging your feet on? Give me all the details. Give me all the details. And with that, I'm going to finish this video, and I will be seeing you guys next week. Bye.